Okay, this is the second video segment that I'm doing on Clash. The first one was a very simple geometry assembly consisting of two parts. Here, it's a little bit more detailed, although if you feel that you had enough of it for video one, then you might as well skip this. But it's a good exercise because it also enables me to say a couple of things that I forgot to say it in the first video. Here's the situation. I'm going to unassemble this thing and make sure that we can put it together. It's there is a track here called base. I'm going to call it base, and there is a block. There is a block that's going to travel down this edge, and right on the corner of it, there is a propeller. Think about it as a propeller that turns. So basically, you have a revolute joint here and a prismatic joint for the block, and I want to see what happens when this thing travels and this thing rotates. Uh, how is it going to detect that it's going to clash with some obstacle here, for example? Okay, so first thing I'm going to do, there are no assembly constraints here, so let me actually move these things apart. So let me see now, this goes in the X direction. Let me take it there. Let me take this thing here. Perhaps move it up there. Okay, good. Yeah. First thing I'm going to do is I will put I will anchor the base. Okay. So where is the? We are in assembly design right there. Don't worry about dimensions. It's totally irrelevant here. This is the assembly constraints, and here is the anchor. I'm going to anchor the base. Then I'm going to put this thing on that track. So coincidence between, for example, this face, and that face. Okay. Yeah, update. Good. And coincidence, and coincidence between this edge, well, let me hide this, and that edge, because I want to get a prismatic joint later on. Good. There's nothing to update because it was already in that position. Okay. Good. Now I want to put the propeller in there, so coincidence between the axis of this hole and coincidence between the axis of this hole. Update. Okay, and coincidence between this face and the face over there, and that's going to create a revolute joint. Okay, very good. Okay, so click on the move and manipulate here. Move and manipulate, and make sure that with respect to the constraint is checked. So notice that, for example, I can take this block and make it travel along that. I won't be able to do it move in the Y direction or Z direction because of the constraints that I put in there. And I can take, for example, this propeller and rotate it as I see fit. Okay, good. Now, I'm retracing my steps as I did in video one on Clash. So remember that there is an icon here, right there. Where is that? Sorry, here in the space analysis, right there, space analysis. There is an icon which says Clash. You click on it. We are going to ask to detect contact and clash, and then you have to say apply. Don't say okay, apply. So this thing opens up, and this window opens up, and it shows you what is going on here. So there is no clash. However, there is contact between two faces. These two faces, the face of the block and the face of the track. And if I select the this is base, yeah, base and the block, and let me see for a second. Okay, between all components. So let's see now. Okay, that one, you select this, is going to be the contact between the face of the block on the left and the face of that propeller. Remember we made a coincidence? Okay, so this is between track and the block. This shows between the block and the propeller. Now, these are all contact right there. You can see that. There is no clash. There is no clash, okay? So let me say all types, and then we say okay. Good. So this has been created here. An interference table has been created here. You can double click on it again. It shows up. Okay, where is right there? You can go back to it and look at it. We're done. Okay, now let me use this move and manipulate, and I'm going to translate the block in the x direction. Okay, and when I do that, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen, right? Okay. Uh, so right there. Okay. If you click on, for example, where was this icon here? Right there. It says stop manipulation on clash. Translate. It stops. You cannot move it any further because it detects that there is a clash here. This is this is something that I forgot to mention in the first video segment, but I'm doing it now, so that's good. All right. Okay, the other one is let me try this. Let me try rotate. Let me try to rotate this propeller along that axis. Notice that when it goes down and it hits the ground, it stops. It won't let you do that. Now, if I uncheck this, then of course you can manipulate as much as you want. This will, for example, this will go translate in this direction. It goes through the bump, and you can make the propeller go to the ground, etc. Good. Okay. Now we're going to create our mechanism. Okay. There is no mechanism here. This is just at the assembly level. So we switch to mechanism design, the EMU kinematics. Get the magic wand out. We have discussed this thing on numerous videos on mechanism design. New mechanism, name of it is this. Auto create. Needless to say, there will be two joints here. One of them is a revolute. The other one is prismatic. You can see that. Degree of freedom, of course, is 2. Double click on that so that this is length driven. And double click on the revolute joint. This is angle driven. Okay. All right. Now, first of all, before we talk about anything related to crash here, let's make sure that this is working. Notice that this will make, let me put this thing reset. Let me put this thing on immediate so that we can see it as we drag the sliding bar. There we are. I think you better change the range of this because these numbers I put down without thinking about it too much. So make it 300. I don't know, something like that. Okay, so let's see. This goes further. Okay, that's good. Reset. And this is the propeller. It goes twice. You go 360 degrees once. Actually, it really doesn't matter. So let me also make this thing, although it's not necessary, 720. So that I can make it turn twice. Not a big deal. This is not an issue. It has nothing to do with what we're going to discuss. Okay, good. Now, uh, first thing I'm going to do is uh, let me click on activate sensor. Okay. Activate sensor. and clash is activate this, select it. Okay, don't close the window, move it out of the way. For example, drag this. Notice that when it hits the bump, both of them are highlighted, which means that these two are interfering with each other. Okay, and in fact, at this point, you go here and say graphics. Notice that there is several of these humps here because I kept dragging this thing back and forth. So let me reset this, try it again. Clear the history, clear the history, clear. Okay, drag this thing all the way to the end, graphic, right there. So no contact, it's the bump, there is contact, there's clash actually, there's no clash, it's the bump, there's a clash, and then the clash disappears. Okay, fine. Now we can also do the same thing for the propeller. So reset, clear the history, take the propeller in any position, in that position that is sitting right now. So you take this thing, drag it all the way to the end, or if you want, say on request, drag it all the way to the end and play it. Every time it hits the ground, both of them are highlighted. Both of them means that the propeller and the ground are highlighted and graphed. Notice that it hits the ground twice. Remember I made it 720? Okay, good. So this was also discussed in video segment number 1. Reset. Okay. Now, let us go and create a simulation. There is a simulation right there. Mechanism number 1. Now, this is a cartoon. There is no physics here. So I drag this thing all the way to the end. And I drag this thing all the way to the end. And I insert, rewind, play it. Nothing happens because there is no clash detection. We haven't asked for it yet. Rewind. Let me remind you how we asked for it. Down here, it says Edit Analysis, Add. Remember, there was one that we had already done here with at the assembly. Remember, we did it? Or if you had not done it, you can do it now, but it's there. Okay, so here's the situation. We play this very slowly. Every time a clash takes place, the parts are going to highlight. See? But this is off. Remember, this is off. You have to make it on. When it's off, of course, it doesn't do anything. But right there, and again. So we talked about this thing before, and the other one in the first video, if you say stop, it will literally stop. As soon as there is a clash, it stops. We discussed this. Now, let me rewind this thing. And if you want to do this thing in a more controlled way, instead of saying go all the way to the end, you can do it in steps yourself. Right now, you can see that. Let me move it. Let me zoom in closer. You click on that. I'm clicking on this. You can make it faster by changing this number. Right there. Propeller hits the ground. The two parts are going to highlight. Okay. Rewind. Let me say on. And change this thing to a bigger number so that it goes faster. Okay, rewind. Now, turn this thing back to off. Okay. And remember that we had this thing. This gives more information on the clashed area. So right, this guy, see that this guy? It says clash detection off, clash detection on, and of course stops upon clash detection. Now let's go back to that simulation that we just did right there. Okay. And I'm going to this is off, and this off has nothing to do with that off, okay? So I'm going to click on this guy, the one in the middle, in the clash detection mode. The one in the middle says clash detection on, and change this thing to anything but one. One is going to be too fast. So let's play it. Notice that as soon as these things go through together, go through each two parts go through each other, the, the clash area becomes red. So let me do this in a more controlled way. So make this thing bigger and do it myself instead of playing it right there. See, the propeller is going to hit the ground in a second. Notice that this became red. You can see that. Let me just try it again. See that? There's a red rectangle here which shows you the clashed area. Now, at some point, this block is going to hit that bump. Also, okay, there. This is the clashed area, and of course, the propeller is no longer is clashing. Okay, so let's try it. More, and now the propeller is going to hit the ground again. See, both there's a clash between the block and the track, and the clash between the propeller and the track. And of course, let me rewind this thing. If you click on this guy, as soon as a clash takes place, it stops. Here, let me play this. There, it stops. All right, so this is a more detailed version of first video segment. There's a third one that I'm going to do, but it's not going to be related to clash. It has something to do, actually, I'm going to use the same model, the same assembly to do the third one, but it has nothing to do with clash. Okay? Good luck.